the Euro shaker. The Euro shaker, also known as the three-piece shaker or the cobbler shaker, is used to mix cocktails effectively and to chill them down incredibly quickly. It is not only useful for shaking, but can also be used for stirring and muddling ingredients. The Euro shaker is a good shaker to use when preparing something like a shaken martini, cream and egg-based drinks, or any other drink that is alcohol on alcohol. We will take a look at what the Euro shaker looks like, how to use the Euro shaker, and some of the drawbacks to it. Let's start with what the Euro shaker looks like. The Euro shaker is made up of three pieces. The largest piece is the metal mixing tin, also known as the cocktail tin, and this is where the ingredients are placed. The next largest piece is the metal lid, which is placed on top of the metal tin. This lid has a built-in strainer which allows you to strain the contents into a glass and also helps to naturally froth up ingredients like egg and cream. Lastly, the smallest part of the Euro shaker is the cap. This is placed onto the top of the shaker so that none of the contents spray everywhere while shaking. Let's learn how to use the Euro shaker. To shake a cocktail using the Euro shaker, follow these steps. Step 1. Add all of the ingredients into the shaker tin with your shaker tin on the bar mat. Step 2. Fill the shaker tin 3/4 of the way with ice. By adding the ice last, you make sure that it has less time to melt and dilute the drink that you are preparing. Step 3. Place the shaker's lid on top of the cocktail tin and make sure that the cap of the shaker is firmly attached. Be careful to not attach the lid of the shaker too hard, otherwise you will struggle to remove it. Step 4. Place one hand underneath the shaker tin and the other on the lid of the shaker, with your thumb firmly pressing down on the cap. Step 5. Before shaking, make sure the underside of the shaker tin is facing away from you and the cap is pointing towards you. This is to make sure that if the cap or lid were to come off, the cocktail would spill over you and not on your guests. Step 6. Shake well for 8 seconds. Step 7. When you're finished shaking, remove the shaker's cap from the lid. Lastly, Step 8. Because the Euro shaker has a built-in strainer, you can now pour the shaken cocktail from the shaker into the cocktail glass. However, make sure that you have your finger on the lid of the cocktail strainer to stop the lid from separating from the strainer and causing a huge mess. Let's finish off the lesson by going through the drawbacks to using the Euro shaker. Often, when trying to pour a mixture from a Euro shaker that has had fruit in it, bits of fruit and pulp will get caught in the holes of the Euro shaker, making it difficult to pour the liquid into the glass. To get around this problem, you can remove the lid and strainer from the metal tin and pour the liquid straight through a fine sieve into the glass. However, if you do this, you must be aware that any of the pulp which you may have hoped to get into the drink won't make its way through the fine sieve. When shaking with ice in the Euro shaker, the cooling from the ice will cause the shaker to contract. This may lead to the lid getting stuck onto the metal tin. Lastly, shaking may lead to shards of ice breaking off into the drink. These shards may be small enough to slip through the built-in strainer and into the drink, diluting the drink and reducing its flavor. To deal with this, pour the mixture from the Euro shaker through a fine strainer into the glass. This way, the mixture passes through both the built-in strainer and the fine strainer. This is known as double straining because the mixture is strained twice before going into the glass. Well done on finishing this lesson where you've learnt what the Euro shaker looks like, how to use it, and the drawbacks to using it.